Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Doso Knits podcast. This is episode 4. My name is Kristen, and I am a knitter, military spouse, and graphic designer living in Germany with my family. Currently, I have both our animals sitting in the same room. Sherlock is sleeping in his bed, and Ebony is full upside down cat, probably also about to take a nap. So this is your first time. This is the Doso Knits podcast where I talk to you about everything that I've been working on, knitting on, what I want to be working on. If you'd like to find me on Instagram and Ravelry, I am also Doso Knits. And then everything that we talk about today, all the patterns, the yarn, the designers, it's all linked in the show notes, which is on my website, dudesoknits.com, and it'll be linked in the description box down below. So make sure you check that out if you need to refer back to anything. So it is finally cooled down in Germany, so I was actually able to wear my newest knit. I'm so glad it's starting to cool down. It was really, really hot for a good 2 weeks there, because that's normally what happens in the summer. We get about 2 weeks of unbearable hot where you don't have AC, and then it was a moderate hot, which was doable, and now it has started to be very overcast, but also it's cooling down quite nicely, and it has also made me want to knit everything. There are so many sweaters and so many things that I want to make because I'm cold, and I can just see it being fall, and I'm ready to snuggle up in everything cozy and knitwear. And it's a problem because I don't have enough time to make all the things that I want. So we're going to work through it, and we're going to keep knitting, and I'm excited that you guys are here today. If you're ready to get started, grab a drink, maybe grab your knitting, and I'll tell you about everything I've been up to. So the first finished object I have, I am currently wearing today. This is my Union Station cardigan by Beatrice Dahlen. It was in an Interweave magazine, and it's also available for purchase online. I am so excited for this. I'll try to put a video of me, like a full video of what it looks like when I'm wearing it, because I don't want to stand up and mess up my camera because this took too long to set up. So, but it's a really lovely cardigan. It's 3/4 length sleeves, and I made them a little bit longer than what the pattern suggested. So mine are almost, they're 3/4. They're almost 7/8 because they stretched a little bit with blocking. And then the only other modification I made to the pattern is I made one extra repeat at the bottom because I wanted the cardigan to be a little bit longer. And after blocking, it's definitely the length that I wanted. So I am so excited. I'm so happy with how it fits, and the neck lays perfectly. And then I was worried about the band because it was really folding over before I blocked it, but guys, the power of blocking is amazing. The lace really opened up, and I think it's really lovely going down the front. This yarn is Aldine Wool's Shine Sport by Knit Crate, and it is the Sprout colorway. So it's this cream color with green and brown speckles throughout, and I think it's really, really fun. I was worried that I wasn't going to like a cream or white cardigan, but I think I'm just wearing like a black tank top today, and I feel like it looks really, really nice. I think it'll be really versatile. It'll be good for when it's slightly chilly, but still a little bit warm, so I want like an extra layer. And I think it looks really nice. I'm really excited. And it was with my Knit Crate yarn. So this was one of those patterns where I had the yarn, and because I had specific yarn, I searched Ravelry with those specific dimensions to then find the pattern. So I think it worked out really well. The pattern does call for like a sport weight, but it's also a loosey and drapey type pattern, so you can probably knit it at a light worsted. And then I knit these with my Lana Grossa interchangeable needles, and it was on a US 6. And the pattern also does a okay job with sizing, so it's a 32 1/4 to 48 1/2 size with 0 to 2 inches of ease. So they had re-released the pattern after it was on the Interweave website. After it was in the magazine, they re-released it with extra sizes, so it goes up to a 48.5-inch bust with 0 to 2 inches of ease. So that is my first finished object. I'm very excited. It is my first ever knit cardigan, and I think it looks really nice, so I'm pretty happy. My next finished object are a pair of socks. Actually, the next 3 finished objects are socks, so hope you're ready for that ride. So my first finished socks are the library socks by the Kitchen Sink shop. Here they are. And this is the Regia Shannonmeyer colorway. It is City Streets color, and it's the City Streets color, and it was color 2889. And so this pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry. I knit these with my Addy Sockenwunders on 2mm needles. These are for my husband, and so I knit them with 64 stitches. And I just did the pattern on the first half of the sock and not the back. And since it's kind of like a ribbed type pattern, they will have a nice little fit, and they should work pretty well. And so those are my first socks. These were my vanilla on the go knitting for a while, and so they took me a little bit, and I haven't shown them to you in a little while, but I did finish them, and I really love the pooling on these. I think it's a really cool, the Regia does it on purpose on the City Streets, so it kind of looks like clouds and I don't know, I like them. I think they're fun. I think they're a nice versatile color scheme that I think Shane will be able to wear quite often. So that's my first pair of socks. My next pair of socks were a test knit that I was so happy to test for. It was one of my second test knits ever, so I'm very happy. These are my Sprinkler Days socks by Hygge Canyon Knits, and they are a shorty sock pattern. They have a nice little lace pattern detail going down the front of your sock, and then you have a cute little pearl ridge on your toe, and the pattern calls for a main skein and then a contrasting mini. So my main skein is a homespun house in the Clever Crookshanks colorway, and then the alternating mini was actually some yarn that I dyed myself because I'm interested in dyeing, and minis are a nice unintimidating way to test out new colors, because if I really don't like them, I can throw them in heels and toes. So I think the contrast is really fun. It's cute. And then on here, this is where you guys saw them last. This is my little cow progress keeper from A Corner of Craft. She had these in one of her most recent updates, and I love my little cow. I think I'm gonna name him Fred. Fred the cow. He's so cute. I love him. So these socks are finished. I have some nice shorties as the days are getting cooler. I think in booties, oh my gosh, wearing these socks peeking out of some booties, I think they're gonna be so cute. I'm really excited for these. The lace paneling is so cute and I love them. These are knit on my normal Addy Sockenwunders 2mm needles. I did 56 stitches because I have tiny feet, and those are those. I'm really excited for these. I was trying to finish them by end of August because as I finish August, I'm trying to keep track of how much stash I get in and how much stash I get out. And so I was so close to finishing these, as you can tell by, I was just here on the second sock. I only had a couple repeats in the toe. I'm trying to make sure I use some stash out, so the end of August was kind of a mad dash to how many projects can I finish before the end of the month so that my stash won't look so bad. I'm gonna film a video about all the stash that I used and all the stash that I acquired in August, and I'll make sure to link that down below and maybe even in a card up above. We'll see. We'll see if I can figure out YouTube, but once I get that posted, it'll be linked right there. The last finished object that I have this week are another pair of socks by Hygge Canyon Knits. These are her everlasting socks. And I did finish both of them. So these socks were knit again on 56 stitches on my 2mm needles. And the yarn for these were Lana Grossa Mielenvelt Tweed in the colorway Gray. I love the little pops of tweed throughout this pattern. And I am so excited to wear these socks. So the front has a nice little lace panel down the front, and for the both of them, they are reflected, which is why my socks look opposite each other. And then the back has this beautiful twisted rib, which is so beautiful. It's a little bit of a pain to knit because it just feels slow to me because it's not like a vanilla sock, but I absolutely love this detail, and honestly might even throw it in some vanilla socks sometime because I love how those look. So I knit these as part of the Sock Knitters Anonymous challenge for August. It was to do a pattern with lace, and so I was trying to finish these by end of August as well to get them to qualify, and I did. And I love the lace and cable pattern going down the front. The cables are really simple if you've never done them before. It's only a 1x1 cable, and you twist in the same direction every time. So you're learning one stitch to do all these cables. And as long as you know how to do yarn overs, knit two together, you should be good to go. The only thing that I found difficult in this pattern is there are some stitches that are purled 2 through the back loop, and that one gets a little tricky because you really gotta go around. But I think if you twist your stitches and then purl through the back loop normal, it might work. I eventually figured it out. You just gotta knit a little looser for those so that you can get your needle in. But I'm so excited to wear these, and honestly, now that I've podcast with them, they're going directly into my knitted sock drawer and probably will be worn very, very shortly because I love them. They are great. So that is all of my finished objects for this week. I know I'm a little, okay, it's not really this week. I know I'm a little off the 2-week schedule. It's kind of a 2.5 week. My job does inventory on the last day of the month, but I normally don't work Mondays. However, the last day of the month was a Monday this week, and so the day that I normally record and do all the editing for this podcast was taken because I had to go count inventory, and then by the time I got home, I was not feeling recording or anything. So we're a little off schedule, 2.5 weeks, maybe 3, I don't know. I'm just gonna record videos and post them, and I hope you guys enjoy them because that's where I'm at in life. I do have 3 works in progress to share with you guys this week. We have 2 garments and 1 sock. We'll start with the socks first since that's kind of what we finished with finished objects. And this is just my new vanilla sock pattern that I've been taking with me to go to work. And it's just a vanilla sock. Ooh. So again, these are knit on my Addi Sockenwunders. These are 2mm needles, and these are 64 stitches because these are going to be a gift for someone. I'm not going to say their name because they might watch. But these socks are so much fun. They are the Shannon Meyer Regia Cotton Tutti Frutti colorway, and this is the watermelon color. So they are I have it right here, Cotton Color Tutti Frutti 2. And they are a mix of 72% cotton, 18% polyamide, and 10% polyester. I was worried that I was not going to like knitting with the cotton, but it's actually super stretchy and really lovely to work with. I am definitely going to have a lot of extras left over because this ball is only, I think it's the normal 100 grams. Yeah, it's 100 grams. 420 meters, and I'm only making shorty socks, which is why the cuff is so short. Because I feel like the watermelons are such a fun summer color, which is crazy that I'm knitting a summer sock as it's starting into fall, but we can dream. So I have my shorty cuff. So I'm definitely going to have a bunch left over, because when I knit myself socks, the everlasting socks, I only used 53 some grams, so I have so much left over because I have tiny feet. And then these are going to be shorty socks in a 64-inch cylinder, which is, I think, normal for most women. They knit 64 stitches. So I think with the extras left over, I might make dishcloths, considering it's cotton. Back to these. I did start them, I think I started them this week, maybe last week, and I've only knit them on my lunch at work. I love how the colorway is working up. So kind of information about the pattern. I did 5 rounds of twisted rib, 1 by 1 for the cuff, and then I did 2 rounds of stockinette before I started the German short row heel, and I just knit every round, so it's a garter heel instead of a stockinette, because I didn't want to worry about purling. I don't know how these are going to fit. I do not know if I should have done more rounds before starting the heel, but I wanted kind of like a no-show cuff, because I don't like when they hang out a bunch, but I also don't want them to be so short that like you wear your foot out on the back of your shoe. So I'm hoping. We'll see. It's a test. Knitting is an adventure. That's all I have to say. Knitting is an adventure. We're just trying things out, and if it doesn't work next time, I will knit more rounds on the foot. I mean before starting the heel, because they're not for me, so I can't really try them on. I could try them on. It's fine. I'm not too concerned. So those are the socks. I don't know. I'll probably start the heel the toe sometime next week. I got pretty far for only working on them on my lunches. So I really like them. It's nice, easy knitting. It's nice to have them on my lunch, because then when people come bother me, I can just put it down and pick it right back up if I need to go do something really quick. And of course, it's always in my knit one and sew two bag. I love these little bags. I love this bag. It's so perfect because it fits in every bag that I could possibly have, and I can knit and walk if needed. It's like pull out, good to go. I love them. It's an absolutely gorgeous bag, and she's been posting so many new bags on her Instagram. Yesterday she posted a pattern of cats playing with yarn. It's the same bag. It was so cute, and I was like, that is 100% my life. If I am not careful, my downstairs will look like a booby trap, wires, because Ebony will have taken all yarn and taken it everywhere, and it's like, oh boy. I had to be very careful to secure all of my yarn before leaving the house. Otherwise, it could be a disaster. So we have a cat. We're gonna keep her here as long as she wants to hang out, because cat lap, you're not allowed to disturb their life. And this is why I get nothing done, because I either have the cat wanting my attention or the dog wanting my attention, and that is my life. So moving swiftly on to the next object, the next thing I have been working on might look kind of familiar, but kind of not. It is my Stillwater cardigan. So you guys might remember I said that I really wanted to knit this cardigan from the leftovers of the yarn from Shane's sweater. So I did order the extra ball of yarn that I needed in order to knit this cardigan, because I had 4 left and I needed 5 for this cardigan, if my math is correct, because I was incorrect last time. So this is the Stillwater cardigan by Mary Greene. It does not look like a cardigan right now, but it is, I promise. So I'm knitting this on the Cascade 220 non-superwash heathers. This is the label. And it is the Purple Jewel Heather colorway. I am knitting the 44-inch bust size because this pattern is supposed to have little to no ease. And this pattern has sizes ranging from 32 to 52 inches. So, pretty okay. I did modify the pattern because I am going to steek it. In the pattern, she has you knit back and forth like normal. You knit, wrong side. But I prefer knitting in the round, and I looked on someone's project notes and they said they steeked it, and they said all they did was add an odd number of stitches. I steeked my swatch to practice, and so you can see right here, these right here, these right here. We got 2 purls and then 3 knit stitches. Those are my 5 extra stitches to do my steek. I'm not nervous. It'll be fine. I'm nervous that I can't try it on as I'm knitting it, but I knit the 44-inch size in this one, and I like how it fits, and I did my swatch, so I know that my knitting should be fine, and we're just gonna go for it. So I started this since the last episode. I've gotten a decent ways. I just got to the chart to start the faux cables down the front, which I thought was what was going to motivate me to, I was like, I'm just going to get to this and then it'll be smooth sailing. I'm so excited to get to that point and then it'll be smooth sailing. But I'm still doing raglan increases and I just want to be done. I just want to separate for the sleeves. I'm tired of increasing. So this one has kind of been set aside. It's fine. It just requires focus, and I'm just ready for the point where I don't have increases anymore and I can just do the chart and just go round and round and round and not have to worry about increasing. And it just feels like it's pages of increases because her pattern is written so exceptionally well. I love it. It's really easy to follow. But because it's so written well, it's kind of lengthy, and it's like, oh, there's 3 pages of raglan increases because she explains each row really, really well, because you have the chart that she wants you to increase a very specific way so that you get the like purls and everything going down, so it's set up for the faux cables. And I'm just ready to separate for the sleeves. So one, I get less stitches on here, and then I can just go round and round and round. We're getting there. I am using my Chow Goo interchangeable needle set, and I'm knitting these on US 6 4mm needles. So the same size needles as this one, but in worsted weight. Isn't that so interesting? This is sport weight, and it's loose and drapey. And this is a worsted weight, and it's going to be nice and fluffy, and it's going to be so cozy to wear. I imagine this same outfit, jeans with this black, probably even a white tank top with a nice cozy cardigan. Hello, Ebony. She enjoys knitting too. My last and final work in progress is my Sandfurre sweater by Elsebeth Judith. Now, I showed this sweater on episode 1 and have not showed it since. I did a little bit of work on it from episode 1 to episode 2, or maybe episode 2 to episode 3, but I didn't show it because then I had stopped working on it by the time I recorded the next episode. So this is a little bit of progress, not all from this past 3 weeks. So this is and there are so many ends, so please be generous. My Sandfurre cardigan, not cardigan, it's a sweater. Sandfurre by Elsebeth Judith. So the last time I was knitting on either the front or back piece, and since then I have joined the shoulder seams, joined the front and back together. This is the front, this is the top. The back and top. This is what it'll look like. And I joined the seams and then used the provisional cast on, and I have since started knitting from the underarm down. So this is my underarm. I am really enjoying this knit. It also just requires a little bit of focus because it is this sand stitch all the way around. It's much easier now on the round because it's less purling. I guess it's actually the same amount of purling because it's rounds of stockinette and then rounds of knit purl. And there are so many ends. Look at this. I don't know if you can tell. Ooh, I should probably weave them in as I go. Right now I'm on the point where I knit to 2 inches from the underarm, and then I'm supposed to start the Fiora's pattern that she mentions, but I'm worried that 2 inches isn't going to be enough length, because she says to start the Fiora pattern at the bottom of your bust, and I don't think 2 inches is going to be enough. I think I'm going to try it on. I think I'm going to do 2.5 inches and then try it on. If I need to knit longer, I can. I hate putting in waist yarn to try things on because the cable's not long enough to fit around my body. So you have to put the waist yarn on and then you try it on and you're like, okay, good. And then you have to get all the stitches back on your needle. Is there a way around this? Does anyone know anything I could do to where I don't have to put on waist yarn to try it on? Because this cable is smaller than the circumference of this shirt. So I had to put on waist yarn and then try it on. I don't know. I find the whole process very tedious. I understand it's important. Ebony's hitting the camera. Okay. I understand it's important to make sure that it's going to fit right, but I just find it time consuming. So if anyone has any tips on how to try on your knitting as you're knitting it, I would gladly take some advice because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go. I am loving the pattern though, and I'm so excited to wear this. I am knitting this on the size large to hopefully get the size extra large measurements because my gauge is slightly off, but it should be okay. I'm knitting it out of BC Garn Alino. I have an extra, here we go, BC Garn Alino. It is a cotton and linen blend because it's called Catolin, and it's the mustard gold colorway. It's technically color 21, but yeah, I love the color because it has so much depth as you knit it. It's like dark and bright, and I'm excited. I just need help with how to try it on because that's what I don't want to do. I am knitting these on my Lena Grossa. These aren't Lena Grossa. This is Knit Pro Symphony, which is the same as Lena Grossa. Lena Grossa just look like brown and reds, and these ones are bright. And this is a 3.5 millimeter needle. So nice and tiny. I'm excited for this. The thing is, I'm probably going to finish it and then it's going to be too cold to wear, which is why I've kind of set it aside, but I would love to wear it in the fall. My plan is to do long sleeves, and it has this nice drop shoulder design. So I'm excited for it. That's my Sandfurre. So that's all the knitting that I have for you guys today. It's kind of a lot. It's about 3 weeks of knitting. Like I said, I kind of am off a week. My goal is every 2 weeks, but then sometimes it doesn't happen. I think I get demotivated by the editing afterwards. And I wish I could just do it in one straight shot, and I don't know. I know what I like seeing in a podcast. I like seeing the pattern name, and I like seeing the designer, and I like seeing a project picture because otherwise when I show you something, you have no idea what it's going to look like. And so I like including all those aspects, but it does add a little bit of time to the editing process. Plus, I can't form a coherent sentence sometimes, so I have to cut those out so that I sound like a normal person. I am, like I said, I'm excited that Germany has decided to cool down. I want to knit so many things. I want to cast on a Weekender by Andrea Mowry, but we will see if that happens. I have to swatch and make sure that everything looks good. But that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that your knitting is keeping you happy and entertained. I'm hoping it's cooling down where you are and you're inspired to knit all the things for fall. And as we move into the cooler weather, I hope that knitting is keeping you happy and that you can stay busy while these turbulent times are still going on. I'm glad that you guys spent a little bit of time with me today. I love sitting and chatting with you guys. I know it's sometimes, I love sitting and chatting with you guys, so thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope this brought a little bit of joy from my corner of the world to your corner of the world, and just remember that you can live the life that you want, and in doing so, your knitting can serve as a memory of all the places that you've been and where you are. So have a good weekend, guys. I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.